All right, everybody, welcome to the last customer support executive brain trust of the year 2021. It has been a fantastic, crazy year. Of course, we have covered many topics in our brain trust sessions. The one that's probably the most prevalent to all of you out there is how to retain employees. But the most upvoted topic discussion among our executives here today is how to scale support. And what I'd love to talk about with this excellent panel that we have here is what are those things in place that you need to have when you are just starting your support team that you're going to need to scale with all the way through? What are those tricks of the trade, so to speak? So I've got these excellent customer support executives with me here today, and we're going to just jump right in. Yoram at Trilogy is going to be leading this topic off. And Yoram, if you can kick us off, what are some things you'd recommend that people need to consider when scaling support teams? What do they need to have in place?
I'm going to give you an answer, but I need everybody to promise me not to barf a little bit. And the answer is you need your vision. And what I mean by that is as follows. Scaling, to me, my definition is putting things in place, or a scalable system is a system that you don't have to tear down and replace when you grow up. It's a system that can grow with you. But unless you know where you're going with this, then you have just about zero or maybe a 50-50 chance to kind of guess what system is going to facilitate your growth. So you need to know where you're growing to. You need to, it's going to be different whether you're B2B or B2C. We have here where I work, we have a product that has maybe 20 customers, but they're huge, big, humongous customers. And then we have products that are almost B2C in terms of they have millions of users. So your vision needs to be, when you grow up, how many customers are you going to have? How many tickets are you going to have? How do you want to handle them? And then look for a system that could be affordable and manageable when you have 20, 30, 100 customers and stay with you up all the way to where you want to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really key, is making sure that you know where you're going to want to be. I mean, you definitely don't want to be in reactive mode. I've definitely had situations where I'm reactive to the growth and I end up throwing people at it, but it just compounds the problem. So I think having that long view right from the get-go is important. Who else wants to jump in here?
I would agree completely with Yoram in that aspect, in that I've always gone by the mindset that you have to have an entrepreneurial spirit, right? In order to be scalable, you have to have an entrepreneurial spirit. You have to know who your customers are. You have to really know your products. What are your products? Is it a break it, fix it product? Is it something that's easy to train your end users to resolve? Who are your agents? What's your team comprised of? Where is your team now? Where do you want your team to grow? Not just go, but where do you want your team to grow? Think about your organization. Can you feed back into the organization? Is this scalability? Is it for selfish reasons? Or is the organization going to grow with you? Because sometimes you have a need just to grow because your team needs to grow to meet up with the organization. So are you prompting yourself to grow for selfish reasons because your team needs to grow in order to be better? Or are you moving right along hand in hand with your organization because your organization is growing? So those are some of the foundational questions that I have found that I had to answer in order to be able to scale the business accordingly. And we're actually going through some of those growing pains now. And those are questions that I've been asking myself, especially a lot during the pandemic. And I don't want to bring that into the conversation, but it's a very viable part of the consideration now.
Yes, absolutely. Excellent, excellent stuff. Okay, so now we've got our long-term vision. What are some other things that we should probably focus on?
I can go. My name's Andrea. I am currently working through some scaling initiatives with my teams. And what we're focusing on now are fanatically automating away repetition, eliminating toil, duplication, bringing visibility to hidden work, things that don't directly contribute to customers that your team has to do because they have to do it, and then challenging that status quo. Making sure that you work smarter as far as improving education with both internal and external training, even with that of your agencies or your partners. A lot of that can just be layers of the same onion in the same learning management system, but improving those public and async resources so that you can enable your team to go further. It'll also get down to really heavily prioritizing your work so that you are working on the most important things at the right times, and you can use your tools to help you with that. But also thinking about like what are those areas where your teams are working, and is your organizational structure built in a way that will support that? Do you need to just kind of like blast your teams up and reform them in the way that they're kind of organically growing to support your business going forward?
I just love that expression, fanatically eliminating repetition. I hope I can borrow that phrase if you don't mind.
Go for it.
And don't say it twice.
Awesome. Well, we're actually out of time, folks, but this was a great panel discussion. I want to thank everyone who contributed. Appreciate the insight here. And we will see you all in the new year at our next Customer Support Executive Brain Trust. Alan, do you want to finalize any thoughts that you have on this topic?
Just want to say that, you know, there's vision and there's tools. And I think the greatest success combine when you really successfully combine both of those. So I really think that the panelists here did a great job kind of expanding on exactly making that happen. Thank you, everyone.